poison the youth, nothing positive you do. You the reason being thinking that it's cute.
I love NBA YoungBoy. YoungBoy my favorite rapper.
NLE Choppa's always kept fans guessing, but this time he shocked even the ones who thought they'd seen it all, and not in a good way. His latest move, a diss track aimed straight at NBA YoungBoy, set the internet on fire, but not the kind of fire he was hoping for. Some fans were entertained, others embarrassed, and many just disappointed. What he called a message of truth and elevation ended up sounding more like a spiritual meltdown caught on camera. Just a few days ago, Choppa dropped the video, confidently declaring that his record wasn't about hate, it was about healing hip-hop. He claimed YoungBoy was leading the youth down the wrong path, and that he was on a mission to bring consciousness back to rap. That's a bold statement, especially when you're taking shots at one of the most loyal fan bases in the game. But the backlash was instant and vicious. It didn't just come from YoungBoy's camp. Even longtime fans of Choppa were confused. Comment sections flooded with, "Bro, this ain't it," and he really missed the mark. What was meant to sound deep came off as preachy, forced, and to many, one of the strangest missteps of his entire career. A lot of people saw the psychology behind this move, and it wasn't hard to figure out. Right now, NBA YoungBoy is sitting on top of the world. He's on a sold-out tour, pulling some of the biggest numbers hip-hop's seen all year. He's got a presidential pardon from Donald Trump, and it's something almost no rapper can say. And to top it off, he's expecting another child. Everything in his world seems perfectly lined up, like the universe is finally cutting him a break. Then out of nowhere came the diss. To many, the timing was just too convenient. Fans didn't see it as bold, they saw it as bitter. People started saying Choppa wasn't trying to save rap, he was just trying to dim someone else's shine. The whole thing felt less like creative expression and more like a desperate attempt to pull attention his way. Because everyone's been there. When life finally starts clicking, someone shows up to ruin the vibe. That's exactly how the internet saw it. Not as competition, not as artistry, but as envy disguised as enlightenment. Choppa's move didn't come off powerful, it came off petty, and fans wasted no time calling it out loud.
Your aura give me the ick, like you make me sick.
I love NBA YoungBoy. YoungBoy my favorite rapper.
Let me know who beating me, bruh. Respectfully, the only that's really respectfully, the only that's really ahead in that space is YoungBoy.
Some fans tried to defend Choppa, saying his criticism actually meant something. And to be fair, they had a point. He used to ride for YoungBoy hard, always showing love and calling him one of the realest in the game. So when he suddenly flipped the script, it hit different. In a way, he was once part of the very crowd he now claims is being misled. That should have made his message powerful, raw even. But the way he delivered it drowned out any real meaning. In the video, Choppa took things to another level, or maybe a whole different planet. He dressed and acted like a mix of legends. Michael Jackson, Tupac Shakur, and some kind of spiritual fusion of both. One second he's moonwalking in glitter gloves, the next he's hitting West Coast poses like he's repping Death Row. His voice keeps switching too. One bar sounds like Pac preaching from the heart, the next like MJ singing from the clouds, and instead of coming off artistic or deep, it just left people confused. Viewers couldn't tell if he was paying homage, mocking them, or just experimenting without direction. It was wild, but not in the good way. The concept could have been fire if it had stronger direction, but instead it felt all over the place. What might have been a deep artistic statement turned into a chaotic, self-indulgent mess that no one could take seriously. Online, people weren't just disagreeing with his message, they were clowning the whole performance. Fans called it corny, hypocritical, and straight up out of touch. Social media went into full roast mode. One tweet that blew up said, "This the same dude who made one of the most thoughtless songs of the decade, and now he's lecturing YoungBoy, please." That line alone summed up how a lot of fans felt. The irony was too much to handle. Others started dragging up his past, the explicit songs, the messy controversies, even the accusations of domestic violence that he's still trying to move past. People questioned how he could suddenly flip into conscious rapper mode and claim the moral high ground. Even the fans who understood what he was trying to do said the hypocrisy was just too loud to ignore. For many, his real downfall wasn't even the diss, it was his constant identity switching. One day he's a spiritual healer talking about energy and meditation. The next he's back to street talk. Then suddenly he's an activist, and by the weekend he's trolling for clicks. Fans don't know who they're watching anymore, and that confusion is killing his credibility. So when NLE Choppa dropped a record trying to sound conscious and spiritual, people didn't hear growth. They heard game playing. It didn't sound like wisdom. It sounded like opportunism. Fans could tell it wasn't about spreading truth. It felt like another desperate reinvention, another version of Choppa chasing relevance instead of standing on something real. One comment summed it up perfectly. This is one of the most cringe off-key songs I've ever seen. It's not deep, it's desperate. That post racked up thousands of likes in hours. Even other artists couldn't resist joining the conversation. Creator G Vu took a playful jab posting, "When I said rappers should rap again, this isn't what I meant." It was sarcasm, but it stung because it came from inside the culture, not just from critics. Then came the knockout blow, reminders of Choppa's own messy past. One viral tweet hit hard. The same man who pulled a gun on his baby mama doesn't get to take the moral high ground. Not now, not ever. That one spread fast, turning the conversation from his lyrics to his life. Fans weren't debating the music anymore. They were questioning his character. Through it all, NBA YoungBoy stayed silent, cool as ever. But his mom wasn't having it. She clapped back online with pure energy, mocking Choppa for throwing shade from the sidelines. Her post went viral instantly. "How are you gonna hate from outside the arena? You can't even fill one up." That line had the internet in tears, and just like that, the tables turned completely.
Today I'm gonna talk about being jealous and being envious. So you wanna make a video dancing around like a ballerina, and then you got a man on his knees smoking a pipe, and you're saying Cantrell is evil and he's a bad influence. So you want to go and put that man on his knees and put a pipe in his mouth on a video, right? Okay, fine. I bet they have another video with that same on his knees sucking your pipe. Because who gonna even play that stupid ass role? If you know better, you do better. Your head look like a pig without a rubber on top of it. But yet, you want to sit here and try to talk about somebody. You better be lucky I can't say what I want to say on Instagram.
But it didn't stop there, not even close. YoungBoy's mom doubled down, calling Choppa irrelevant and hinting that his new holistic activism was nothing but jealousy in disguise. She didn't hold back for a second, and that lit the internet up again. Fans started calling it the war of the rap moms, because anyone who knows Choppa's mom knows she's just as fiery and outspoken as her son. Once she stepped in, it was pure chaos online. Still, the noise wasn't just about family drama. The real damage came from the fans and the industry voices weighing in. People started digging through history and pointed out that YoungBoy had dissed Choppa before, back when Choppa was quiet and didn't say a word. But now, when YoungBoy's on top, touring, winning, and unbothered, suddenly Choppa wants to drop a spiritual message. That timing didn't sit right with most people. To them, it didn't feel divine, it felt calculated. Instead of spiritual, it came off strategic, like a move to stay relevant while riding on YoungBoy's name. Fans weren't buying the Enlightenment Act, they saw it for what it was, timing dressed up as truth. At its core, this whole situation feels like a story of rivalry, mixed with a little regret. A few years back, Choppa and NBA YoungBoy were on the same level, running side by side as two young powerhouses shaping the next wave of hip-hop. Both had raw energy, loyal fan bases, and that rebellious spark that made people believe they were the future. But somewhere along the way, their roads split, and only one kept climbing. YoungBoy's career blasted off to new heights. He's packing arenas, dominating streams, and building a global cult-like following that moves whenever he moves. Meanwhile, Choppa's career didn't crash, no, it just slowed down. The buzz got quieter, the hits stopped hitting the same, and the spotlight started drifting away. And when you're watching someone you once rivaled live out the dream you thought was yours, that stings. It's not hard to imagine the thought creeping in. Why him, not me? And when that question lingers too long, it turns dangerous. Suddenly it's, he's only winning because he sold his soul. I'm the one with integrity. That's a familiar trap in fame. The belief that the system rewards fakes while punishing the real ones. It's a defense mechanism, convincing yourself that purity is the reason for your downfall, instead of just facing that maybe the other person evolved faster. That might be the storm Choppa's caught in now. Pride, pain, and a little bit of envy. But let's be real, audiences don't care about who's the most virtuous. They care about who's real. They want consistency, honesty, and music that hits the soul. And right now, Choppa looks like he's still figuring out who he truly is. Every time he changes direction, the message gets blurrier, and the fans feel that confusion loud and clear. Meanwhile, YoungBoy's already mastered his identity. His people know exactly what they're signing up for. Raw aggression, unshakable loyalty, deep pain, and unapologetic truth. That's what keeps his fan base locked in. He doesn't need to reinvent himself every 6 months. His authenticity is the brand. That kind of clarity can't be faked, and it's something Choppa's still chasing. In the end, this whole clash isn't just two rappers throwing shots. It's a deeper reflection of how fame can twist purpose into ego and how chasing validation can drown out your real voice. Choppa says he wants to heal the culture, and maybe that's true, but before he does that, he's got to heal his own confusion about who he's really trying to be. If you made it this far, make sure to like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this, and as always, see you on the next one.